Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, KGRA proudly brings to you its Pop Culture Minefield's Dork Side of the Ring! The Dork Knight, Danny Ballard, the Atmosphere, Joe Rivers, the Dork Side of the Ring! And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it! Hello there. Welcome to Dork Side of the Ring. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing fantastic, man. We've had a busy weekend over here in South Louisiana. Well, actually, I'm in North Louisiana, in the South, where everybody else is up in the North. Except for you. You are west of me.
Yes, I am out in Las Vegas. Johnny Rock will not be joining us today. So
that's a shame, too. Love having him on board.
Oh, yeah. So, let's see. Well, let's do the whole, how have you been this week? What have you been up to since I saw you last?
Dude, we had Shop Till You Drop this weekend. I've been out promoting the Privateer comic book and promoting my commissions for pencil sketch portraits. And me and Foxy, we have booths right next to each other. She does the crafts. I do the portraits and stuff. And yeah, we've been busy, bro. We've been promoting ourselves this weekend. Yes.
Right on.
Absolutely.
Right on.
And I get to finish up this busy weekend by having 3 shows today. This is my first. And none of them on my channel.
So what are you what are the other 2 shows? Go ahead and pimp them out real quick.
Oh, yeah, Ryan, a guest of this show, Ryan Roger Athay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be on his reality-based interview show. He's going to interview me at 6 tonight.
Oh, cool.
11 o'clock his time in Great Britain. And then Comics Division. I've been a member of the Dix Division for almost a year now. And he's one of the first guys that had me on his channel. And so I support Comics Division. And matter of fact, there's only 3 guys that I support actually have memberships on. And that's Comics Division, Gary from Nerdrotic, and Gary from Pop Culture Minefield. They're the only 3. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I subscribe to Comics Division. I actually have a few, I follow.
No, I mean, I actually financially back.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm on his Subscribe Star. I'm on Gary's Patreon.
Cool.
Gary.
Yeah.
Pop Culture Minefield. I'm on his Patreon. I'm on Comics Division's Subscribe Star, and I'm on Gary from Nerdrotic's channel on YouTube. I got a membership there. But
cool.
We got a membership stream tonight. So it's going to be me and the love Dr. Ruben Hayes and Christopher Hayes and all that bunch. Yeah, we're all going to be on there talking comics. And Toxic Man Flu,
Yeah. No, I'll check it out. Yeah, I'm actually if it's a members only stream, I'm glad I have a membership to be able to check that out.
No. It's just members are on the stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember if I told you about my new kind of writing gig for Popcast. Did I mention that last week at all?
No, but I've seen you post about it.
Yeah. So if here, I'll put the link in the chat for anybody who's interested. Let me do that real quick.
Oh, I gotta get our chat popped out.
Yeah. And but I've been pretty busy lately researching my next thing, which I'll get into in a second. But I wanted to show you real quick. Here we go. Let's see if I can pull this up. So this is my article on the honestpopculture.com, which is, or honestpopculture.
Yeah, I saw your tweet about this. Yeah. I haven't gone to the link yet, but yeah. And you are obviously a big trekker.
Yeah, it's a bit of
Yeah.
a read. It's
Mhm.
um it's but I enjoy the Star Trek. And my next article, the one I've been working on, is uh it's originally I was just going to review the latest episode of Picard, which
Mhm.
is the what's it called? It's called Imposters,
Mhm.
and it was a really good. It was like it's my favorite episode so far. I've
Mhm.
watched it literally like 10 times. A lot of that
Wow.
is well, I mean, a lot of it is
Because
just like
the
note.
background, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of it's note taking, and then also most of it's just kind of like having it on in the background. And I kind of had it on a loop one day when I was writing, and it
Greatest
had
faction ever right there.
the Shield.
Greatest faction.
Okay, but yeah, it had the return of Ro Laren, which was awesome.
Mm.
I don't know if you're into the
Next
next gen.
generation, I'm not that hip to the lore. I'm an old bastard. I am a OG guy.
Yeah,
I like my captain to shoot first and ask questions later. You know, I'm a
fair enough.
Kirk guy,
Oh, I love
not the
Kirk. Yeah.
thinking man's captain. Yeah, but I didn't watch any of season 2. Gave up on Discovery like
Oh
4
yeah,
episodes into season 3.
yeah,
But I have watched every episode of Strange New Worlds, and I have every intention of catching up on this because all the guys that I know or that are Trek fans are enjoying the shit out of it.
yeah.
And
You
I
don't need to
did
watch.
like the first episode.
Yeah, so
So
you don't need to watch season 1 or 2 of Picard if
no,
you
no, no,
haven't.
no. I watched season 1, and that's why I didn't watch season 2. I'm not rooting
Yeah,
for a dead robot. I'm
yeah, yeah.
just
Now
not going to do that.
season 3 though, like it's just
I've done what you guys said. I have
chef's
totally
kiss.
unplugged from the fact that season 1 even happened and enjoying
Yeah,
it. Yes.
but
Yep.
so but instead of just doing a review,
Mhm.
because a lot of people have um a lot of people have
Don't worry, folks. We're going to get to the wrestling.
yeah, we will. We're only 7 minutes in.
We're
We got
catching up with each other
yeah, yeah.
too because we haven't seen
Uh,
each other in a while.
a lot of people have been saying that they don't understand like how Ro got back into Starfleet and how she could be a commander for Starfleet intelligence and blah blah blah. And so what I'm doing now is I've been
Is that the
watching.
chick with the bumps on her nose
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
the hell that
yeah.
race is?
Yeah,
Okay,
Bajorn.
I saw the thumbnail for
Yeah,
a lot of the reviews had her picture on it. So
yeah. So what I'm doing instead is I'll have like a brief review, but it's going to be mostly focused
explaining
around
the lore.
yeah, focused around her and like
Mhm.
how there's interesting parallels between when we first see her in the season 5 episode Ensign Row, and when we see her 29 years later, well, actually, it's over 30 years later because that was season 5, and she's in the penultimate episode of season 7's her last episode. So
Mhm.
it's 29 years since that episode, but none of this should be surprising to people because same thing happened in Instant. She got court-martialed. She went to jail. And then an admiral came to her and said, "Hey, if you do this secret mission for me, I'll put you back into Starfleet and you can have your freedom."
Mhm.
And it's kind of the exact same thing about that happened to her to get back into this. So anyway, I'm going to draw those parallels and kind of remind people of
You're
things that,
explaining the lore.
yeah, yeah. In this article I'm working on,
See, folks, that's what I'm here for. I'll give you the Reader's Digest version.
the Reader's Digest version, while I go around my elbow to get to my
Yeah,
asshole.
but you enjoy it. That's you're passionate about it.
Yeah, no,
And
I've
that's
been,
what matters.
yeah.
I
So
mean, myself, like I said, I can answer most questions about the OG Trek. My favorite episode, I can tell you right now, my favorite episode of OG Trek is Doomsday Machine. Love that one with Commodore Decker losing his mind and,
yeah,
losing his
my
ship. And I thought that guy's performance was awesome in that show, how he's freaked out and everything. I thought
yeah.
it was
No,
fantastic. Yeah.
as the romantic, mama's boy, I'll give
Mhm.
you one guess what my favorite episode is.
The romantic mama's boy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have
City on the Edge of Forever.
City on the Edge of Forever,
Yeah,
starring Elizabeth Taylor as
that's my
Kirk's love interest. The
yes,
one love interest he has the
yes.
entire
Edith Keeler
series. Yes. Mhm.
must die. Yeah, it was,
Yes, I.
and it's at the end. He's like, "Let's get the hell out of here," So it's like,
I wish I had. There was a syndicated run that they did. I want to say it was in the '90s. I recorded on VHS all 10 hours of it. They listed the top 10. It was narrated by Leonard Nimoy. Top 10 viewers' choice best episodes of Trek ever. And
yeah.
number 3 was Doomsday Machine. Number 2 was City on the Edge of Forever. And number 1 was The Trouble with Tribbles. Okay.
It's a
And
comedy episode.
but it was a great thing because one thing I learned from it, and you'll get a kick out of this. You may not know this story, but he told it during this thing. Leonard Nimoy he's Jewish. I don't know if
Right.
you know that about him or
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
He said there's a certain part of the church service that they have where the entire congregation turns their back on the rabbis, and he, being a curious kid, turned around and looked, and they were holding their hands like this
Like this.
over some scriptures.
Yeah.
And that's where he got the
Yeah.
live long and prosper symbol from. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I am familiar with that story. Kirk Shatner is also Jewish, by the way.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, and Canadian, and clearly they're doing something right in Canada because William Shatner. Everybody made this big deal about. He did this interview where he said that he realizes that he's not long for this earth.
I saw that clickbait. I was like, I'm not.
And everybody, and then there was a bunch of clickbaity headlines that made it sound like he was dying. And no, all he was saying was he's cognizant of the fact that he's 91. He's probably got a decade left. But I tell you what, at 91, he looks
great. He went to space. Give me a break.
He looks way better than Patrick Stewart. It's insane to me. So
the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So hey, since we got the little injection of the hitman there, let's go ahead and talk about some wrestling. That's why
let's
we're all
talk
here.
about some wrestling. The road to WrestleMania is in high gear. There's some highs and there's some lows this week. No doubt about it.
So, part of why I was bringing up the what I've been busy doing with the article and writing and all this research. Poor me, I have to watch all these episodes of Next Gen. Haha. Anyway, I had some sacrifices had to be made, and AEW was my sacrificial lamb this week. So I
got you covered.
Okay. I didn't watch it, but I did get the recap and the ups and downs and stuff. Yeah. But I was not missing what I'm loving now about WWE, other than the bloodline, is that I don't even feel like there's a brand split anymore, and I love that.
Because there's not, and they need to quit. They need to quit with this. I mean, go ahead and unify the belts.
Yeah.
Get back to doing a regular wrestling show and just be done with all this stupidness.
Yeah, it is because oh my gosh, I am so glad I don't have to wait a week in between this bloodline storyline, because Monday, for example, during the Monday Night Raw show, I'm going to talk about kind of like the bloodline first, and then we can recap.
Yeah. We don't need to talk about what opened the show because it's old, stale, and really, I hate to say it, Christian needs to go back into retirement. But anyway, go ahead.
Christian?
or not Christian, whatever his name is. Edge. The other guy. Yeah. Both of them need to go back into retirement. Actually.
Yeah, you're funny. So, so anyway, at one point during the show, you see Kevin and Cody talking in the background, I believe, and Sami Zayn tries to talk to Kevin Owens at one point in the show, and Kevin's like, "Look, man, I don't want you to come help me. I don't want to fight with you. I don't want your help with do not come help me. I
don't want to be around you.
Yeah, I don't want to be around you.
Leave me alone." Yeah.
And so that they're sprinkling that throughout the show,
laying the seeds for SmackDown.
Yeah, and then so the main event of Raw, we get what was it? Was it Kevin Owens, I believe? Have I got my right notes here?
I hope so.
Let me see. I think I do.
Let me pull up the results.
Yeah, I got my notes right. Okay. So it's Kevin Owens and Solo Sikoa, and the bloodline, the numbers game caught up to Kevin Owens. He had no chance of winning. Gets the spike in the throat. Gets his ass beat. Obviously loses the match. And it was a street fight, I do believe, right?
Yeah, it was a street fight.
Yeah.
At one point, the highlight of the thing was, of course, Kevin did the one thing you can't do. He set up a big trap for himself. He puts like 6 chairs out there, and he's going to throw Solo into it. And nope. Guess what? Solo, be careful what you set up, because you can definitely get destroyed by it. And
it seems like that's a trope now in wrestling.
It is. They do it all the time.
Yeah, just always seems to happen that way. So this kind of sets up going into SmackDown. Now, before we get into the Bloodline SmackDown stuff, was there any other Bloodline stuff in this episode?
No, not really. No. Okay. They actually tried to cover some other stuff in Raw, and it was really a lame episode. It really was, to me.
Yeah, other than the Bloodline stuff, and
there was more Dom hates his dad shit, and just
we'll get in. I just meant like Bloodline for now.
Yeah, Bloodline for now. No.
So then we get into SmackDown, and I tell you what. So it opens with Cody Rhodes, which is a great way to open any wrestling show.
Of course,
that dude's entrance literally gave me goosebumps Friday night for whatever reason. It was just so good, and he comes in and he does this in ring. He's so good, and imagine he would be being the son of
Dusty he had Rhodes. A promo on both shows. He had one on Raw too.
Did he have one on Raw? I know he had a match. He had a match. I know he beat LA Knight.
Right. It was after the match. The match where he talked about, I come out here in suits, not because I think I'm somebody, but
because I want to be. Yeah, you dress for the job you want.
Yeah. That's it.
And then
and he proclaimed he was going to be the first Rhodes to win the WWE championship.
Yeah. Just all.
It was after the match. And by the way, not to get too far off of it, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but LA Knight needs to stop being squashed. I mean, because that was a great match between those two. It was fantastic.
And it was even in defeat.
He did not look weak losing that match.
Yeah, no, exactly. So then, so Cody's out there. And he the first thing he does is address his match against the head of the table, the tribal chief of the bloodline, Roman Reigns. And he basically says, I respect Roman, but I'm going to beat Roman. And then he calls out Kevin Owens. And at first Kevin doesn't come. So Cody's like, come on, man. Don't make me, blah, blah, blah. So,
don't make me beg you. I respect you.
Yeah. So he finally comes out. And then Cody's like, okay, now I'm going to call out Sami Zayn. So he calls out Sami Zayn. And Kevin Owens is just like, oh, man. He's like, he's just,
I know what this is about. And then he cuts him off and calls out Sami. Yeah.
So they start planting the seeds for this upcoming tag title match at WrestleMania, which I honestly think should headline one of two things. I think it should either headline night 1 or be the first match of night 2, so you're bookending night 2 with the bloodline storyline, and
I got a feeling they're gonna put Charlotte and Bianca, Charlotte and Rhea Ripley as
the main one. So if they do that, then I really think the tag title match should be match 1 on night 2, and then Roman Reigns gets his ass handed to him at the end of the night, and then Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens can come out and celebrate with him, and you get the cool shot.
Yeah, you get all the ring, belts, and all that good stuff. Yeah.
So,
awesome.
I think that would be great. So they, so here, I really do need to start typing my notes because I have this teleprompter thing I could use if I did.
I actually got my lovely wife, the Foxy one. She got me a curved 27-inch gaming monitor. I now have 3. I have one on either side.
Nice.
Yeah, because I've been experimenting with a way to show videos without getting hit for it. So,
cool.
Kind of flipping the picture and cocking it a little bit. And
right.
I've seen other channels do it. So
yeah. So they basically that whole, like, Sammy's making a plea to Kevin Owens, and I guess the mistake he makes is like, I get it, you don't want to, you don't, we don't have to be friends, like, I'm not asking to be your friend, blah 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 blah. And
Right.
I loved it because it was a perfect setup. Kevin Owens says, why would I want to fight with someone who doesn't want to be friends? And then he leaves.
Yeah.
And then I think they cut to a commercial or some other segment, but when they come back, you see Kevin Owens going to his car and Sami Zayn chasing after him. Basically like, hey man, I love you, man. Like, you're always going to be my boy. You're always going to be my friend, blah, 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 blah. And then Kevin drives off. And you think that's going to be the end of it?
No, I didn't, because anytime they leave the stadium, they're coming back.
Okay. Well,
They
yeah,
show you that on purpose.
Yeah, of course.
You want to talk about your tropes? There's one right
right
there.
So then I'm going to skip this. We'll come back to it because I just want to focus on the bloodline. So then at the end of the show, Sami Zayn and Jey Uso are going to have their little Kansas City showdown. Basically, it's just a main event segment where they're going to talk, and they talk for a little bit. Jay's like, kind of recapping everything for us. I never liked you. I didn't like you. And then when I finally did, stand up for you, you stabbed me in the back and blah, blah, blah. Sami keeps telling him, look, you don't have to put up with the abuse from Roman. There's still time.
Which
blah, blah, blah.
is really great because that's an underlying current. I mean, a big event Jay, right? And put
main
him
event.
down.
Main event Jay was
main event Jay. And so that was a great thing. And finally he says to him, look, you're not mad at me, you're mad at yourself because you didn't hit him first.
Right.
And that tripped him. That got him.
And then he just goes off on Sami, starts to beat him up. His brother Jimmy comes out, and then don't you know it, from the crowd in a hoodie, sliding into the back of the ring behind him.
They played his music and got him to look at the stage.
You got him to look at the stage.
And I was like, he ain't coming out the friggin' tunnel.
And
come on, man.
Slides in, beats some ass, gives a stunner, runs those.
And does his pop-up power bomb to the other one, which is what he needs to go back to.
Yeah.
Because it's more awesome than a stunner. I'm sorry. It just is.
I don't know. I'm a mark for the stunner. I just love the stunner. And I love it, especially when, my favorite stunner has to be, I believe it was WrestleMania 18. Steve Austin stuns Scott Hall, and Scott Hall sells it so awesome. Like, I've never seen a sell like that for a stunner before. He just goes way up in the air,
right? Bounce. That's what I love, is when guys sell it with the bounce.
And that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold sex.
Amen. So that's my favorite. So I want to see people sell it for KO a little bit better. I think it was. That was one of the twins. I can't remember whichever one he gave the stunner to. He did all right. He didn't. He could have put a little bit more bounce on it, but it was. It's nothing like the worst. The absolute worst person at selling stunners is Vince McMahon, and I'm glad we'll never have to see that again.
He totally screwed it up a year ago. No doubt.
He's been screwing it up for 30 years, man. It's like first time he got stunned by Steve Austin during the Attitude Era, he just Austin stuns him, and then McMahon just kind of falls to the side. It doesn't he just falls to this. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. Daryl says, "Don't let me."
He agrees with me, man. He
man.
agrees with me. Look at the one before it. The stunner is cool, but not that many guys can do a pop-up powerbomb.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I agree. But I'm just, I'm a simp for the stunner.
Of course.
So, so then we get the moment everybody's been waiting for. The crowd's really into this. They're chanting, "Hug it out, hug it out, hug it out." And what do we get? Kevin Owens goes right up to Sami Zayn and just
that's right. Gives him a big old hug.
Big old bro hug, man.
Big old bro hug.
Yeah, it was.
And that's how the show closes.
Feel good ending. You know what I mean? Going in. So now we got to see. Hey, Courtney, thanks for joining us, hon. Hey, let me say hi real quick to the chat. We got what we got here. We got my mom, who was first as usual, as per the usual. And we got Daryl Harris. What's up, Daryl? our man Doss Wolfen, of course, Joe, but you're also on the show. The lovely Sherry. Hi, Sherry. Thank you for joining us. Oh yeah, it's a lovely Sherry. Yeah, dig it. And then let's see, and now we have Courtney joining us. So hopefully we'll get some more people joining. Thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Really does help Gary and the Pop Culture Minefield guys out. And of course, we are also simulcasting on KGRA, the KGRA Digital Network. So we're going to try to get a little bit better at reading stuff that we react to instead of just reacting. And thank you so much. Courtney says she's going to share out the stream. So we very much appreciate that. Thank you, doll. All right. So now back to the
yeah, it was a great ending to the show.
It was so good.
Great ending to this chapter of the Bloodline story.
So what do you think now? So moving forward, let me look at my calendar here. So we've got 2 more Raws before WrestleMania.
Yep.
2 more Raws, 2 more SmackDowns. So we got 4 shows total. And because, like we were saying earlier, they're not really doing the brand split. Hold up 1 second. Doss Wolfen, thanks for the videos. Thanks for everything, buddy. Enjoy that movie.
Take care, remember, man. He's going to see Dungeons and Dragons.
No soda because of your surgery.
I think he knows.
Shit'll hurt you.
You don't want to do popcorn either, brother.
Oh no, he can't eat shit right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
Take some pudding with you, bro.
Yeah. No, I think you can only have pureed clear.
No, he's good. He's good with pudding. He told me he's.
Oh, he can do pudding. Okay, yep. Yeah. All right. Well, right on. He said, "Water for me." Right on, buddy.
There you go.
So, and like we were saying earlier, they're not really doing the brand split anymore. So we got a lot of show left, man. We got, like, if you think about it, the way they used to do it, it's essentially like a month's worth of show left before, even though it's only 2 weeks. Because back in the day, just like we'd only focus on the Raw storyline on the Raw show and the SmackDown storyline on SmackDown show. And now it's like they've completely blurred the lines between those 2 shows. So I'm really excited. There's still a lot that can be done here because obviously they haven't set up. We all know it's going to happen. The tag title match. We all know it's going to happen, but it hasn't been actually made yet. So
it hasn't been made yet. But if this week was to achieve anything, it was to lay that groundwork.
Oh yeah, totally. So that's what I'm saying. So.
But something else they've thrown in the mix that really is confusing to me. They're having qualifying matches for I think they said a fatal 4-way.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a second. That tag stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. We'll circle back to that. Because we will cover the rest of the show. I actually did take a bunch of notes on. But this is the best. You know what blows my mind is, Dave Meltzer's starting to lose all credibility with me over at Wrestling Observer. He's made Tony Khan Booker of the Year the last 3-4 years in a row. And I'm sorry, did Tony Khan book the Bloodline storyline? Because I tell you what, it's the best damn storyline in my lifetime. I don't know about yours, but this is the best long-term story.
The Mega Powers exploding is probably the best one of my lifetime, man.
That was in the early 80s.
That was a great one.
I was very young. You got to remember, I was born in '79, so I was like still.
I'm just saying, you're right. It's in the top 3. Gotta be.
I'd say as a Gen Xer. Okay. So like I'm covering Gen X.
I hate to say it, I'm Gen X too.
No fucking.
I'm at the beginning of it. Yeah. 65 is the first year of Gen X. Boomers cut off at 64. Yeah, look it up. Yep. Boomers cut off at 64. Gen X starts at 65. Yep.
Wow. Wow.
So we're actually the same generation.
Yep. Wow. Well, Lottie freaking da.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo!
Yeah, man.
Anyway, so like, what do you think about my take on the Bloodline?
I think
it doesn't matter what you think.
You can all of the first 30 minutes of the show, aren't you? My gosh.
That's all of them. That's all.
It does matter what I think, and I think
I know it does.
it's fantastic.
It is my favorite. God, and it's been going on for 3 years. For 3 years, it's been going. That's almost unheard of in modern day. And that is unheard of in modern day wrestling. The longest thing I can think of is the Rock John Cena feud, because that lasted about almost 2 years. You know, maybe a year and a half, because that got set up at it was before Survivor Series, because okay, so do you remember when this would have been 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there.
I started watching it in 14. So I totally missed Stone Cold's run, and I totally missed The Rock's run.
So I missed a lot of stuff too, but since doing this show and stuff like that, and I've been going and doing some research, watching some old matches, and I tell you what was really cool, man. So A&E every Sunday night, they have Rivals and A&E biography on whoever, right? So I can't remember if it was last week or week before last. They did a WWE Rivals, The Rock and John Cena, and I learned a lot that I did not know. So
I imagine it was good. Because if two guys could ever talk on a microphone, it's those two guys. I can imagine it was badass.
Let me tell you something. Yeah. If anybody in the chat can help my memory here, I'm a medical marijuana patient here in the state of Nevada. So sometimes my memory is a little foggy, but I believe that we get The Rock to host. I believe he was a host of WrestleMania.
Okay.
1 year. And he was for some reason he was given Cena crap. Oh, I think I'm getting this backward. No, okay. So Cena started calling The Rock out in different interviews, saying that So when he was hosting WrestleMania, The Rock made a comment that he's like finally The Rock has come back home, and he cuts a promo, and at the end of it he's like, The Rock is never going to leave. The Rock is always going to be here. Blah 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 blah. I promised you, or something like that. And then so then there's an interview, a month or so later, that Cena's doing, I think, on a radio show, and he buries The Rock. And this was not discussed with The Rock. This was not pre-approved by The Rock. This was not thing. He goes into business for himself because he wants to do a program with The Rock. And this is what I found so fascinating, because I didn't know this, because you just assume that it's always planned, scripted or whatever. But he cuts this scathing promo about how The Rock's gone Hollywood, which I find completely ironic now, because John Cena basically turned into what he was bashing. But he's like, he's a part-timer, he can say whatever he wants about, he's never going to leave, but he's never here, and blah 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 blah. So like Rock gets wind of this, and then they start having like a Twitter battle. So they built this whole program up over Twitter, because The Rock's off making movies and stuff,
right?
And The Rock's getting legit pissed, because he doesn't because Cena's never talked to The Rock. He doesn't ever call him up or text him or email him and be like, hey man, I want to work this program with you. He just basically tries to goad The Rock into it. So The Rock hits up Vince. He's like, look man, something's got to be done about this. So Vince was like, well, why don't you come on? So he comes on, and they have like a face-to-face, and then they do that here's another wrestling trope. They do that thing where they team up The Rock, and so they already announced that they're gonna fight at WrestleMania, at the next WrestleMania. Rock's gonna teach John Cena a lesson in respect or whatever. And so before they have that match, so really the storyline kind of is almost 3 years. But the bloodline's been longer and better because it's more involved. This was mostly over social media. So so then so they make The Rock and John Cena team up at Survivor Series. And then, they're doing that whole thing where they're not working together. They're like they're blind tagging themselves in type of thing.
Right.
And then they
trying
win
to
the
one
match.
up each other. Yeah.
So then they win the match, and at the end of the match, The Rock lays out John Cena. He just
Of
gives
course.
him the rock bottom. He's like,
Yes.
Does his thing, and he leaves. And then they have the WrestleMania match. And oh my God, that match was I just watched it again, like Tuesday, I think. So good. Rock kicks out of like 2 or 3 of those attitude adjustments or the ST or whatever it's called. So good. Rock bottoms. John Cena wins the match, and John Cena crawls out and he's on the rampway, and he's sitting there just looking all like dejected and everything. After the match, when they go into the back, John Cena comes clean to him. He's like tells him like, this is what I, like blah 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 blah, and then they came to an understanding, and he goes, all right, brother, we're gonna do this again next year, WrestleMania. So they announced it. The fucking Raw after WrestleMania, they announced that next year we're gonna have our rematch. And it was like, oh my God, and it was so. And of course, Cena won that one. It was a passing of the torch. And I believe that one was for the title because The Rock had come back and wrestled. Daryl, correct me if I'm wrong, because so here's see, he goes, Cena cut a shoot on The Rock.
Shoot on The Rock about being a part-timer. Yep.
And then Cena has.
I've seen that before, by the way.
He did. In fact, he didn't understand the Hollywood side of it before he got into it now himself. But even in the A&E biography, it was so funny because he's sitting there in his suit or whatever, and and you can tell every A&E biography and every A&E rival show that John Cena's in, they shot him all at the same time because he's wearing the same suit. He's in the same place in each of the different shows they have clips of him in. And so it's funny because the interviewer says, okay, so now we're going to talk about your rivalry with The Rock. And he's like, oh, if we're going to do that, and he picks up a glass of bourbon. He's like, I'm going to need to have some of this first. He starts drinking. And he just starts explaining shit. I never like all of this. Like The Rock had no idea. I did it the wrong way. I've since apologized. I feel terrible. It's like I learned a lot that year and blah, blah, blah. And second match was for the title. That's what I thought. Thank you, Daryl. Yeah. So The Rock had come back. Who'd he beat for that? Daryl, you got to, because I haven't rewatched that match yet. I watched their first one. I do plan on watching the second one because it's just so good. And that's when Cena got the title, and it was a passing of the torch. I think he even walks him back to the rampway, and he holds up John Cena's hand.
I forgot. I'll look it up real quick.
And for sure, Daryl. And so yeah, it was. So I'd say okay. So. Yeah, that would be what, and that's been over a decade. So I mean, like I said, this is the best long-term storyline in a hot minute. And I would argue this one's better than The Rock and Cena just because of how many people we have involved in this and how it started. Like I thought it was so genius to start it with the main event Jey Uso stuff, and like even or before that, wasn't it Kevin Owens, right? It was Kevin Owens before that. Yeah, and then we get the main event Jey Uso, and then we get the reformation of the Usos, and they get their tag titles, and then the bloodline is just like the 3 of them for a while, and then like last year at the Clash at the Castle.
It's been really good booking. I don't think when they were doing the main event Jey, I don't think that they were pointing it in this direction. I think they were just having a rivalry between 2 members of the same family is all it was. And I think they saw somewhere along the way that it was really gold, and they started farming it. And wow, it's been dynamite. It
really has.
And it's it all comes to an end at WrestleMania, which it should.
Yes.
But do they end it at WrestleMania? They're not going to bury Cody, but do they make it go on a little longer?
Yeah, here's the thing. I think they do, because look, The Rock is no spring chicken. the window on the dream match is closing, and the title does not have to be involved. And they typically like to plant the seeds for WrestleMania the night
year
after.
before.
Yeah. So like the Raw after WrestleMania is when they start, you know, kind of
doing it.
Yeah, laying the groundwork or letting you know. So I feel like,
you know it, darling.
Yeah, I feel like Roman's probably gonna, after he loses, he's probably gonna like disappear for a little bit, you know, take a vacation because he's a part timer anyway. And then I think it'll be some time before he, like, I think he'll probably come back around SummerSlam. And
who is this? I'm sorry, I was reading something.
Roman Reigns. I'm talking about Roman Reigns. Yeah, I think Roman's going to lose at WrestleMania.
I think this rivalry between him and Cody goes on for a little bit. I think the next few pay-per-views is going to be tied up with it. You know, well, culminating in SummerSlam with a rematch for sure.
They did announce Backlash, so maybe they do something there. But I don't like it when I don't like it when WWE makes Backlash basically rematches of WrestleMania. I hate when they do that. So I really hope they don't. That's right. He took the belt off of CM Punk. That's right.
Wow.
That's what it was.
Wow, man.
That's why I forgot it, because CM Punk's my boy and I had to erase that from the memory banks. Right on. So, okay, well, tell me what you think then. I'd love to get your take, because I actually do think Roman's going to disappear for a little bit. What do you think is going to happen? Because we're going to have Backlash, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, I believe.
Look, if Roman takes off, what's going to fill the vacuum?
Usos!
I think he's involved. I think that he is going to be so mad after losing to Cody that he's, it just depends on how ruthless they want to make Roman.
We do need a here's something that never happens. We got two super hot over baby faces in WWE right now. We got Cody and Sammy.
Yeah.
Now, what monster heels do we have? Roman. Who else?
The best one is the Intercontinental Champion.
Gunther.
Yes, he is the best one.
And we got
and we'll get to that later. But
here's what I think is going to happen then. So I think that.
But you're right. We do need some more.
I think Gunther, because we got a little tease of it at the end of the Royal Rumble, where they had that mini match when they were the last two. They being Gunther and Cody.
Yep.
I think Gunther's dropping the IC title at WrestleMania, because they always do that when they go up a tier. I think he's going to drop, and he's going to fill that void of being the monster heel, and Imperium's
just promise me we're going to revisit this, because I really got something to say about the IC title and all this stuff. But
okay.
Go ahead. You think that he's going to dump it, and he's going to take that next step?
I think he's going to. I think he's going to
leave that belt in his wake and move forward. Yeah.
I think he's going to call out Cody. I think they planted the seeds at the Royal Rumble. I don't know how fast that's going to happen, but I think it's going to happen. So I bet, you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about or finish up your thoughts, and then it sounds like you want to talk about. Let's talk about the IC title stuff that happened this week.
Yeah, I agree with Daryl. Yes, Roman could use a break, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. When you got lightning in a bottle like this, you've got to stick with it, I think, unless you've got something like a Gunther and Cody rivalry to fill the void. If you've got something like that, fine, go to that. But I'd like to see. What I would like to see is let's see. I think Roman could use a break. It would be a good chance to raise up the tag team division,
which is also why I think,
and that's maybe why they're doing the qualifying matches for these.
We'll get into that. No,
four ways they're planning.
Triple H clearly likes tag team wrestling a lot more than Vince McMahon. He really does. So, but go on. So,
but I want to see. First of all, we got to see what the match is like. We know the match is going to be good, because Roman at his absolute worst is at least decent. Okay. And Cody is just knocking it out of the park every time he steps in a ring. So, I I think that they're going to the next 3 major pay-per-views: WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and the Royal Rumble are all going to have Cody and Roman. I think all of them are going to have those guys wrestling each other. Now, they may give Roman a break before SummerSlam and he come back, like you're saying, but I think that it's going to be. Why wouldn't you do 3 of those matches with those 2 guys when you've got this kind of hype going? You know what I mean? They've got to really tear down, tear it up in the main event at WrestleMania on Sunday night, right? And then get everybody wanting more, right? So,
check this out. No, it's my buddy Trey.
Yeah.
Cody, or I just doxed him. I'm sorry, buddy. Cody watching on the monitor, Sammy and KO hugged and nodding like a force ghost was hilarious. It was funny,
it was
right?
good. That
it
was
also
good.
made me think, where the hell was Cody when Sami Zayn was getting his ass beat for a few minutes?
Right? Why didn't you get out there and help him, bro?
But I don't know, man. I'm totally loving this, and I just I think that I do think Roman goes away for a bit, but you don't, huh? You think he's gonna?
I mean, after talking it out with you guys, yeah, you guys could be right. He does deserve a break. He's been the champ he's wrestled in the main event of every damn pay-per-view for since 3 years now.
Since the pandemic era. Yeah.
No, so he could use a break, but he's definitely coming back by SummerSlam though. That's what I think. This isn't going to be one and done. They're going to have 3 matches with him and Cody.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep Cody busy with a program with Gunther until something will happen right before SummerSlam where the tribal chief comes back and he wants to take back his title. And hell, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it because the WWE like to have a heel champion so the babyface chases and then you get that great feel-good moment, but baby faces don't, unless you're Hulk Hogan, baby faces don't stay champs as long as heels do,
because the stories is only as good as the villain.
So let's switch gears, speaking of villains, to Gunther and the IC title scene. You said to circle back to that. What were your thoughts when we talked about the triple
on SmackDown? How great was his commentary?
Oh, man.
This is commentary, right? They're beating the shit out of each other, and they say, "Well, who would you rather face?" And he's like, "Well, look, if it ends up being Sheamus, I will do my duty and defend the title." And then he said, "What if it's McIntyre?" He's like, "I will do my duty and defend the title." These are stupid questions, and drops the fucking headset. The
title. These are stupid questions.
It's fucking awesome, man. The guy. I'm so glad that when I watched him in NXT, I was like, this guy can be a bad guy at the next level for a long time. And he went in there and actually fucked it up for himself.
Yeah.
He fixed it to where Pierce says, okay, fuck you. You wanted a singles match. You're not getting it.
You wanted a singles match yet. You did this.
You're not getting it. You did this. Everything you're saying says you want to beat everybody up. So guess what? You're going to fight everybody. So now he can not get pinned and lose his belt. So your
ill-thought questions,
right? Ill-thought questions.
Gunther's really growing on me, but my God, I would hate to be one of his opponents because those chops he gives
he's vicious, man. The guy is vicious.
It's like he does know this is a work, right? You don't have to kill the guy.
No, that guy's a different level right there. Yeah.
So you said, well, let's finish up this. Okay, so. I guess last week, they Sheamus and Drew McIntyre double kick each other,
right?
Basically, knock each other out, and so I believe that's how it ended.
Yeah, it was a Claymore, and he was giving him a road kick at the same time, and smoked each other.
Yeah,
and the ref was about to count him out. Yeah. And Gunther said, "No, you're not doing this. I want one of these guys to win." But
then the freaking Imperium
jump in there and start beating him up, and there it goes. So actually, he didn't do anything wrong except for distract the ref. Yeah, his boys really fucked it up for him.
Yeah. So WrestleMania, we're going to get a triple threat: Drew McIntyre, Sheamus versus Gunther. I say Sheamus goes over. What do you think? He's gonna leave.
I'm hoping.
So one title that's eluded him.
Yeah, I could see. I did not know that was the one title he had.
The only title in WWE he hasn't had. Yeah, so that's
I can
Drew
see.
McIntyre.
I'd rather Drew McIntyre got it because I want to see Drew McIntyre get back in the title race.
I think he's having fun right now. It's a shame his moment was ruined by COVID, because he really did deserve that moment. And if they were going to pull the trigger on that, it would have been at Clash at the Castle.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I think he's just having fun with his mate, Sheamus.
Yeah.
And I really do think that that Sheamus is going to get the IC title, so he can have that accolade of being a Grand Slam winner, or whatever they call it, where you get all the titles.
Yes, absolutely. Sheamus deserves that. He's been, look, you talk about workers and guys you can depend on. This, you look that definition up in Webster's, and there's a picture of Sheamus there. This guy he's been there for that company through thick and thin, no matter what. He's never put a bad face on things. He's never, he's not the guy we hear about, driving drunk at 3 a.m. that gets arrested. Right. None of that stuff. He's been a model citizen. And I think he deserves to get that title, and they should give it to him. Yeah. And I wish him all the best. Of course, I'm Irish, so I got a soft spot for the guy. I'm just glad he doesn't have that rooster look anymore.
The mohawk
drive me crazy. Yeah.
So so let's do a little fantasy booking here, and then we'll swap into, because you said your State of the Apron is pretty short today.
It's very short. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
we'll do it before the break.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So so I here's what I think happens. I think that Gunther's going to lose somehow. Sheamus.
I don't think he's going to be involved. I think they want to protect Gunther. I really do.
They do.
And I don't think he's going to get pinned. I think he's going to be out of the picture, and Sheamus and McIntyre is going to get it.
Something's going to happen. Sheamus is going to pin Drew, and I think this is a good opportunity to turn Drew heel, to get Drew back into the
main. Not a bad idea.
Because we need some more bad guys.
Can be a heel, that guy can. Yes,
and he could just be like a huge, just monsterish.
Because if it's not Scottish, it's crap. You know that. So so he can definitely be an arrogant heel.
So close up your thoughts on the IC title, and then we'll go into the State of the Apron.
Yeah, I think Gunther is an up and coming talent and what I think is great about him having the IC title for this little brief amount, it's elevated the title. It's put it back above the US title. Okay. Yeah. I really think he has done that title justice.
And we'll talk about that US title stuff in a sec, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, just the guy who's got it's brought that down. But anyway, I mean, and I'm sure Austin Theory is gonna work out great. But I just, I want to see him do something else. I mean, we've seen the arrogant shithead, and let's see him do something else. Yeah. But yeah, I think Gunther has really elevated that belt, and it's on the right show, because SmackDown is definitely the bigger show now, because they're bigger. A bigger channel.
Well, it's network television. I mean, it's in more homes by default.
They've done it. Quietly. Everybody's talking Bloodline, but at the same time, that IC title has been elevated by this one guy. The Ring General has done very well with it.
Ring General.
I think he's done awesome with it.
Yeah.
Let me just go ahead and show you the State of the Apron part real quick.
Do I need to share your screen, or?
Yeah, go ahead and do that. As soon as I get it up, let me put this where it needs to be. Where is it? There it is. Okay. And I've got to bring up.
Hey, we got some new people joining us. We got Teresa Alexander says, hello. I forgot. And I am late tuning in. So here's a cool trick. You can go to the beginning, put it on double speed until you catch up to us, and we're going to have a commercial break here in a minute, so you have about like 3 minutes that you can skip when you get
right
there. Although please don't skip our sponsors. I didn't say that.
Don't skip everything. No, you don't want to do that. But let me get this up for you, man. I had to bring up one more picture. I forgot.
So then we also have Teresa Hi. Well, Keely Chow is here. Keely, welcome. It's good to have you here. What's going on? We are talking wrestling. We basically just went over the bloodline and the Intercontinental title feuds. And Joe here is going to do the state of the
apron. Boys and girls. This is where I clue you in onto some stuff that has to do with the smaller things in wrestling. Real quick, I have been busy this week. I haven't been able to do much, but I got to show you this. It's a show called Observe This, Brother. It's going to be at the, I think it's RDS Gym in Crown Point, Indiana. And the reason why I had to show it is because it marks the return. You see the ticket here. You got Leighton Buzzard, Trey Lamar, and you're going to see the better part of Wrestling Observer Live. Brian Alvarez and Filthy Tom Lawler are going to be back together. Chop and Roll Express is going to be back together for this show. So you're going to want to check that out. I think I have if you're in the Indiana area, the tickets are on the Black Label Pro website. And I just love Brian Alvarez. He's one of the greats, man. I dig this guy. He cracks me up when I listen to him on Wrestling Observer Live. And I just wanted to highlight his show. And that's about it for State of the Apron this week, guys. And we're fixing to head to our first commercial break. So take it away, Big Daddy. We'll see you in a minute.
Hi guys, this is Gary from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
A birthday without her mom, an anniversary without her husband, her wedding day without her dad. These are the days when military families feel it most of all. The loss of their soldier, their sailor, their airman, their Marine, their Coast Guardsman. Families never forget their loved ones lost to war or illness or suicide. Families never forget, and neither do we. We are TAPS, the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. We provide resources, support, and comfort to heal the hearts and meet the needs of grieving military families, all at no cost to them. Your generosity can make an enormous difference in the lives of the families of our fallen military heroes. Our military families need to know they are not alone and they are not forgotten. Show them your support at taps.org.
Are we alone in the universe? The most important question facing humanity is on the verge of being settled once and for all. Mutual UFO Network has been at the forefront of this journey for nearly 50 years. Our members worldwide are dedicated to the research, documentation, and awareness that will shape the future of humanity. Won't you join us?
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh wow, we survived. Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA.
All right, boys and girls, we have returned. We're going to get back into what happened on Raw and SmackDown as soon as Danny gets back. Let me know in the chat what your impressions were this week of those shows. For you AEW fans, I did watch that show this week. Danny didn't. I will be glad to fill you guys in on what I thought of it, what I think of what's going on there. I mean, they build things up and then they don't finish a storyline.
You're such a pro, man. I was chasing my dog.
You're good.
I'll be right back. You keep telling the folks about.
No problem. No problem. They had MJF come out with a yarmulke on. He's having a rebar mitzvah is what he called it, right? And he's just being a heel, like he's great at it. But then we have Jungle Boy, we have Sammy Guevara, and then we have the one my wife loves. Foxy is all about some Darby Allin. And they all come out there and they all, he asks, what do you want? And all of them in stereo say a title shot, right? Here's my problem with this. And they all cut promos and it's good. It's good. These guys are learning from Cody that you throw a little bit of truth in and it makes it a whole lot more powerful, But here's the problem with it, guys. They start this at the beginning of the show. You'd think they'd have a triple threat match between the three of them to set up the, who's going to go after the title next.
They just wanted the pillars in the ring at the same time.
And then they don't finish it up at the end of the show. What do we get at the end of the show? We get a triple threat, triples match, right? The House of Black, Blackpool Combat Club, and the Elite all against each other. And their big
Twinkle Toes and the Hardly Boys.
Right. Their big ooh moment at the end of it is God, I'm trying to remember who won that match. I think
the House of Black. House of Black.
Yeah, the House of Black kept their titles. That's right.
Yeah, they kept their titles.
But something happened where Blackpool Combat Club was beaten on the Elite or something. I can't remember exactly what happened. I think
earlier in the show, according to Simon Miller, the Blackpool Combat Club took on Hangman Page and the Dark Order because this was a Canada show, and the guy that they just brought back did the job for Moxley.
chanting Wardlow,
and then they beat the hell out of him, and then Hangman comes out to make the save, and I think that ties into later. I want to say because they were going to beat up Hangman, but then the Elite,
the Elite popped in, and the Blackpool Combat Club backed out, and the show went off with Hangman turning around, and there's the Elite.
Zax, you want to? I'll send you the link, bro, if you want to give us the
if
man.
You
want to
give us a correspondence view of what happened at the show, man.
Let me know, and I'll message you I'll message it to you.
But here's my deal. If you're going to have 4 of your biggest stars in there, you got to have a match to tie it up at the end, don't you?
You would think, man. I don't know what the point of that was, to be honest with you, other than to put MJF in his cake.
I guess.
But again, I didn't watch it. I just caught the Simon Miller's recap of it, so I don't know exactly what all was said. I just know the high points or whatever. It just seemed
they haven't given up on QT yet. He's got to that what's that friggin' show?
TMZ.
TMZ, and he's got a QTV thing.
Yeah.
And he's got the champ in there, whatever championship that guy's got. I think it's the TNT champion.
TNT. Oh, Hobbs. Yeah, the TNT title.
Hobbs.
Oh my God. Okay, so I did watch this clip. I saw where they tried to say it was QT's gang that broke into the car, and you can tell in that clip, you can tell that they're turning a shoot into a work, because of the way they angled it, and then when they messed up the camera angle because you could clearly see that vehicle was inside somewhere, not out where Wardlow showed it was, which was in the parking lot of a hotel.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Zach says QT needs to go. He has pictures of someone. You're absolutely correct. He's got pictures of the Hardly Boys or something, man.
Yeah, something. He's something. Oh, well, okay. Well, Zach, I appreciate you listening and chatting while you're installing flooring.
But this show, I got to tell you, man, they have got to improve on the booking. That's just all there is to it. They have nothing but factions. I want to see some solo one-on-one wrestling. It's all tag shit. Every bit of it's tag. I mean, I'm not like Vince. I don't hate tag team wrestling, but come on, let's get some storylines to, where there's guys, having a blood feud 1-on-1 kind of thing, and boy, they really don't know how to book the women either. Oh my God. That's horrendous.
I'm glad that this was brought up by Remo here, because Sammy was not the legal man.
No, he wasn't.
It's like,
yeah.
I don't know if that was a mistake or if they're going to bring that up and that's going to be some kind of controversy.
And I've got the AEW belt back here, guys. I was hyped when this product first came out, and I paid for the first few pay-per-views, but until they learn how to book better, man,
speaking of
the way they dropped the ball on Wardlow really turned me off of their organization, really, because he was guy.
That's what I'm saying.
They should have pushed him to the moon.
I hate to sound like a broken record, but I'm past the falling out of love stage. I'm kind of like I'm about to where if CM Punk doesn't come back, I'm pretty much over AEW, man. Like I've been watching it less and less, nothing, there's nothing exciting right now. Like what do I have to look forward to? You know what I mean? Like the opening segment of Dynamite just shows me, like, really, like, first of all, I'm bigger than all three of the other dudes that won a title shot.
Right.
Like me, I'm taller and heavier. Now I'm not as muscular or whatever, but I just I like it. There's nothing.
I understand the thinking there, but I'm a smaller guy myself, so I don't let the size get into it for me. I mean, Daniel Bryan has proven you do not have to be a big guy to be loved as a wrestler. Okay. He is not a big dude. But
there's
he is a grappler, and there's no story. That's the problem. They're not. They built their brand on long-term storytelling, and they're not doing it anymore. Now it seems like they're rewriting it every show, like Vince used to.
Yeah, so
it's like it looked like they've flipped.
Yeah,
really.
We don't have Mox in the main event scene anymore. It looks like he's going to be in the trios scene now, and the Blackpool Combat Club have gone full heel. Like just full heel. It's just like, I mean, what is like, who do they have to get excited about?
If they were smart, now we're all hoping that CM Punk is coming back. Even me, just to give it some juice. Okay. Just to have something to disrupt things. But if it was me and CM Punk wasn't coming back, I would have a breakup of the Elite. I want to see Ken.
Yeah, so
I am a Kenny Omega fan. I want to see him solo.
Here's the problem. So Zach's in the chat, for those who can't see, says Omega and Jericho when I ask who's there to get excited about. First of all, Jericho is I'm pretty sure he's a card-carrying member of AARP. So there's that. Two, Omega is tied up in this trios thing. So the only way I can see that working is like what Joe's saying, is if they break that team up. But now
they need to make
bringing Hangman
the Hardy
in?
Boys go completely heel, make Kenny a face, make him a face. Okay. The last time he was solo, he was that evil champion that Daniel Bryan had to fight and stuff like that.
They teased the whole Hangman thing coming back into the fold. So how's that going to work then? Like, because
let's go ahead and let Adam Page be the guy that replaces Jericho and have a falling out with or not Jericho, but replaces Omega, and let's have a falling out of it somehow to where I want to see Kenny Omega solo. He's better as a solo act, man.
I agree, man. I don't get it. But like Zach says here in the chat, the Wardlow whiff is unforgivable. He beat MJF clean in their last match, and I was there for that match, actually.
Really? Wow.
That was in Vegas. Yeah. I believe that was the cage match that they had, but they really, that's what I'm saying. I have no faith.
And they have too many belts
in AEW anymore. Yeah, they do have too many. Like
it's like they're giving out participation trophies. It's ridiculous, man.
It is. It is.
Get it down.
It is run by a millennial.
Two or three singles belts for guys. One singles belt. The women only need one singles belt. You barely put them on TV anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. And some tag belts and move on, please.
Yeah.
Now the triple that I do like the triple team belts. I like that. I think that's cool.
Hey, we got a new guy in the chat. Story Man Jack. Thanks for joining us. He says, "Hail you all."
Hey. But
Hail
to
you
put
as
a
well,
bow
sir.
on
Don't forget to hit that like
AEW,
button.
they've got to do some better booking, and they really got to drop some of those belts. They really do. And get Kenny Omega back in the solo.
Yeah. So the AEW International Championship, which used to be All Atlantic Championship.
Yeah.
That match did not go the way I expected, to be honest with you. Like, I think Johnny and I both predicted Jarrett would win. Yeah, we predicted Jarrett would win because he's the one that's going to be going overseas to set up all these new deals to do tours and stuff abroad. And so we thought that,
he got beat, so he can go do it now.
Yeah, well, yeah, we thought it would make sense if he took the title with him so he could actually like do some matches, but well, whatever.
Orange Cassidy is over like Rover.
Yeah.
They don't want to take the belt off.
And then Jade Cargill, squashed some.
Who needs to be the women's champ? Who needs to be smashing everyone?
Yeah, she squashed some poor chick, but Valkyrie, Ty Valkyrie came out. That was good. End. There's something weird about her face to me, but
dude,
whatever.
She's Mr. Morrison's wife, and dude, now she's in every promotion except for WWE.
She was in
she was in NXT last year.
Yeah,
and now she is wrestling in AAA. She's wrestling in NWA. She's wrestling on Impact. She's wrestling on AEW now. I mean. She is MLW too. She's in that promotion too. She's wrestling in 5 different promotions now. That girl can't get enough wrestling. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then
I'm a fan because the last time, of course, you guys probably it just depends on how long you've watched the show, but everybody knows my favorite wrestler going today on the female side is wrestling in gyms right now. It's Tully Blanchard's daughter. Tessa Blanchard. The last really good female on female matchup she had was against Taya Valkyrie, and that's who she took the women's title off of. And so, yeah, that was a great program. They did a great job over on Impact with that. But yeah, I liked Taya Valkyrie, and I thought that was great. Her coming out and busting her up. That was pretty cool. I like her friend. Yeah, her backup. Yeah. She busted her up. Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't there wasn't any kind of altercation or whatever.
No.
Let's see. There was a Rampage.
I didn't even watch it. I don't even watch Rampage.
Let me pull up so Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah, she wrestled on that show.
She wrestled somebody called Evil Lawless and won. Powerhouse Hobbs successfully defended his TNT title against Ray Phoenix. And the Jericho Appreciation Society beat a team called the Bollywood Boys.
And Bollywood Boys is probably the Singh brothers, the guys that used to run with the modern day Maharaja. That's probably who that is. I think that's who it is.
Yeah, I don't know. And then Daniel Garcia beat Brody King. I'm sure there were some shenanigans there because that doesn't make any damn sense.
No, it doesn't.
So yeah. So as you can see, we spent more time saying hi to each other at the beginning of the show than we spent on AEW
because it's just not compelling, man.
It's really not. And I hate to crap all over it, but it just, do better, AEW, do better. I mean, because I mean it, man. If
Daryl, highlight that last one by Daryl Harris. You're absolutely correct, man.
Yeah,
the female talent. Yes, that's
read
Mickey
it for
James
our radio
over there.
Listeners.
Yeah,
read it for our wrestling list or radio.
Oh
listeners.
yes. Outside WWE, Impact and TNA/TNA, which is the same thing, guys, has the female talent. Every other promotion has like 2 or 3 girls, which need to be pooled together. Absolutely. I've always thought, especially, man, back in the day when that Adams chick was there, I mean, I've always thought that the Knockouts division in TNA was always better than the WWE's talent.
Something we didn't talk about, speaking of women,
Mhm.
Simon, on Simon's show, he mentioned that the Outcasts actually got murked basically by Hayter and Baker. What happened there?
Yeah, they jumped in there and started fighting with them, and of course it was 2-on-3. It was DMD and Hayter come in there and was jumping on them, but you know, they had the numbers. There was 3 of them, and then 3 more chicks come running down the ramp. I can't Willow. I'm trying to remember who they were, but they
tell you what,
they got bailed out.
For a big girl, Willow's pretty hot, man. I don't know
Rio and one other chick. I can't remember who the other chick was.
Rio. Yeah.
It was the smallest chick in the company and the biggest chick in the company. And some chick in between that came down and helped DMD. And
I will say I love. I've always had a thing for Ruby Riott, or Ruby Soho, and
Ruby Soho.
I like her better as a heel, man. I really do.
I do too.
And
I like Storm.
I haven't seen
Storm a lot too.
Yeah, I like Tony Storm, and I tell you what, I love to hate Paige or Saraya. I love to hate her, man. She's just
yeah.
Can you believe? Oh my God.
That's a great faction.
Why did she get fined for saying the word twat? That's a cuss word now?
I guess.
Is that twat?
I don't. You don't really hear that on regular television too
much.
Dude.
Bill, get ready to bleep me. Okay. Okay. You guys know the George Carlin bit,
right? The
7
dirty words you can't say on television. Yeah.
I don't remember twat being in there. You know what I mean? I do not remember twat. Why? Okay, Daryl. Look at this. You can't say twat. Why?
That's right. You can't.
They fined her for that. I could not believe that. And so the guys over at What Culture Wrestling, they said that
I just
UK,
said them in my head. I'm sitting there counting them, and making sure that wasn't in there.
Yeah. The 7. Yeah. You know, so the What Culture guys were saying twat is like kind of like the word cunt out there. They use it all the time. It's not really a bad word there.
Mm-hmm.
But it must be in America. And I'm like, I'm American. This is news to me, bro. Like, when did twat become
I
mean, they can say
I don't
shit.
hear it.
I've heard John Moxley say fuck, you know, like, but twat, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's I don't hear it very often. I don't.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But anyway, look, we're 20 minutes after the hour almost, and we need to get back to the shows that are actually worth investing in these days.
Yes.
And that's
okay.
Okay. Well, get your notes out on Raw, and let's break that down.
Before we do that,
yes, sir.
I have to tell everyone that they need to go to Fuel Up.
There you go.
.gg, I believe.
Drop the comments so they can see it.
There we go. Hold up. I suck at this without
it's all right. I'm gonna get you through it, man.
Without Doss Wolfen in the back helping me out here.
Drop Daryl's comment and they'll be able to see it better.
Daryl's comments. Oh yes. Get rid of that. There we go. Maybe I should get rid of us too. Here we go. So yes, if you go to fuelup.gg/dorkring, and I have put this in the chat. Use promo code dorkring, and you can get free shipping on Fuel Up Wake, Play, or Rest. You'll also get a free shaker bottle like this one here.
Check it out.
To make it nice and easy for you to mix up your drink in the morning. And I tell you, they gave us a script, and we've actually never, ever read it. We probably should someday. But other than read a script, I would just rather... First of all, you got to like orange. The Wake is orange flavored. It's really good. I just happen to really like orange, so that's nice. It's got like an obscene amount of caffeine in it. Gary likes to make.
Tell them how great it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Gary used to make the joke. It was about a week before he was told he was supposed to mix it with water and not snort it. Um, but I knew better. It came with the little thing here. But I'm actually curious. I'm going to read this for the first time because why not? It seems like it could be fun.
Go
Maybe.
for it.
Oh, you know what? Never mind, because he sent me a video and not a written script. So whatever, we'll be better prepared. The point is, just go to the link we shared. Use the promo code Dork Ring. You can see. Look, you got sodium, potassium, magnesium. It's full. It's got advanced aloe hydration. They have a patent pending advanced aloe hydration technology that uses the hydration and immune optimizing properties of aloe vera to fast track hydrating nutrients into your body for a hydration you can feel. Fuel Up Wake is going to help you start your day. Fuel Up Play will help you with your concentration, help you get through the day. And Fuel Up Rest can help you get to sleep. It's got great stuff in it like melatonin. Oh, I meant melatonin. Anyway, check it out. I like to say melatonin, but it's just, I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllabus or whatever it is. So there you go, guys. You can check it out. fuelup.gg/dorkring. Help support the show. Do it. Do it now.
Do it now.
I do it for you. I'm channeling my inner Booker T there. Anyway.
Yes.
There we go. All right. So now that we got the bill paying part out of the way, don't let me forget, I got to do the WWE ad before the end of the show.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Do that.
So
in
yes,
another 20 minutes.
back to Raw.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Daryl. I saw your comment in the chat. He said yes, NXT. I did not get to see NXT this week. I apologize. We had a craft show, so I didn't get to see it.
I never watched NXT.
Yeah, but I usually do, and I that's why I'm apologizing to him. I did not see it. Sorry about that.
If I ever do happen to watch it, it's only because my man Booker T is hilarious on commentary. That's the only reason.
Hey, man, I hate to tell you, everybody that's headlining all of these things came from NXT, bro. Every last one of them did.
Cody was never in NXT.
Cody was not. But Roman Reigns, the Usos, all of those guys, they all came from there.
All right, well,
Gunther.
Yeah, he was Walter.
He was Walter. Yeah.
So, all right. So we got Raw started with the over the hill. I mean, the rated R superstar.
The rated R superstar, and a very tired rivalry.
But they finally set up the Hell in a Cell match we knew was going to happen, so that was good. And then somehow this leads into the Judgment Day versus Johnny Gargano.
Yep.
Gargamel. Sorry, and Dexter Lumis. And of course, Judgment Day has to win because they have to build up this momentum going to the grandest stage of them all. I doubt these other two jabrones are even going to be at WrestleMania. No. Then we had
they'll be in a ladder match or something. Are they still doing the Andre the Giant battle?
Last year they did it on SmackDown. They'll probably do that again this year because of the tag team thing that we'll get into here in a little bit. Okay. I think that's how they're getting, because with that you get 16 people onto WrestleMania just in those two matches, instead of trying to cram the 30 people into a battle royal nobody gives a shit about, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but do they have enough tag teams to even have the 8 matches they're going to have or what is it? It's 4 matches to get 4 teams in each one. So we're talking 16 different teams. 8 teams for men, 8 teams for women. Do they have 8 female tag teams?
Well, we're going to find out because we'll get there. Before we do, if you guys saw the thumbnail, up next, was Omos and Lesnar, and holy shit, I never realized how big that dude was until
he's huge.
Wow, that was
and it was just more proof of what I've said forever. Look, my wife, God love her, she walked in the night that the Shield broke up and was intrigued, and she actually started watching wrestling with me. Okay. And she has hated Brock Lesnar from day one because he's a part-timer and only shows up for pay-per-views, right?
Yeah,
She can't stand him for that reason. And I keep telling her, you guys can hate Brock Lesnar all you want. He is a marquee guy. And one of his talents that nobody highlights enough, if you ask me, he sells better than 90% of the other wrestlers out there.
He really is good at selling.
He is fantastic at selling. And this was another indicator of it.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. Cause at the end of this, so Omos does that thing where he like puts his hand up to show, how
he wouldn't let him let go his grip.
Oh no, that was when they go to shake hands. I mean, like before that, he puts his hand up in his face just to be like, my hand is as big as your face, bro.
Big as your face. I can rip your head off. Yeah.
Then they do the handshake and Brock shakes his hand, but then Omos won't let it go.
No,
and then he tosses him over the top rope. And Brock, it's like, give me my hat. Puts his hat on. He's like, looks impressed. Decides, I'm gonna
duck out now.
It's like, ain't nobody done that to me before. I'm gonna give you props.
Yep, that's it.
Whew, I don't know. I'm not huge on Omos, but if done right, if he's ready and Brock puts him over, imagine what that would do for Omos. I just don't know if he's ready. So I don't know how that match is going to go.
Yeah.
Because we saw that match between him and Strowman. I mean, it was
stiff.
It was decent. Mm-hmm. Well, he's so green, man. He's so green. He needs to he reminds me of the Giant Gonzalez. He's really stiff. And not just with his punches. I mean, with his movements are stiff. He doesn't seem to be fluid enough. He doesn't
but this is a common problem with big guys. I mean, Khali was like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like he was on stilts.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna hate. Oh, hey, we got Real Wade Nation in the house.
There he is.
Hey, thanks for stopping by, buddy. He says,
good to see you.
Joe, you're awesome, and hi, Dork. Thank you. I'll just take the high. I know I'm not.
Appreciate
awesome,
it, buddy.
But it's okay.
Appreciate it. He watches me on Twitch too.
Yeah, and so here we go. So Remo's got it perfect. He says Omos is cool to look at, but he can't work well. And Daryl follows that up with he needs more time in the PC, and he definitely does. That's why, as of right, unless they've been hiding something and they have an amazing showing at WrestleMania, I feel like Brock's got to win.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay,
I do too.
All right. Well, we agree on that then.
Yeah, definitely agree on that. Yeah.
So the next match, the next match was Cody versus LA Knight. Yeah.
Dude, I am so sick of them. Now, look, I have to give him credit though. Dude, how good is Cody? LA Knight did not look weak in that match one bit. He was beating his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was really great.
They had a really good
SmackDown I had a problem with where they just buried him. I was like,
I really did. I wish the match would have been longer. Because I'm not familiar with the
LA Knight,
LA Knight, except for here in Raleigh.
He is a very good wrestler,
dude.
Man. You saw how quick he got up on the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
He didn't sit there and take all day. He said, "Okay, I got you. Let's go." Right? He tries to make it fluid, dude.
I can see they need to use him better. I can see good things for this dude. Put him in the. I get confused because there's really not a brand split. I'd like to see him with the U.S. title or something, or he needs something better than what they're giving him. Having him lose to Bray Wyatt. Now Bray Wyatt's apparently quit over creative.
What is the deal with? I'm so look. If
you're the one singing his praises.
I love him. I love him. But if he's going to be a head case, cut ties. You love Monet, whatever the hell she calls herself now, the boss, whatever she is.
Mercedes,
you dig her, right?
Monet is no longer.
I am
the
so
boss.
glad she's gone. It's not even funny.
CEO.
How many times you gonna let somebody bail?
Yeah,
and keep putting time into them.
So Remo says LA Knight is over with me. Yeah.
Yeah,
then
damn straight.
The cool thing is
Every
stays
time he
over.
says L.A. Knight, all I can hear is Eli
Yeah.
Drake. I'm
Eli
telling
Drake.
you, it's the same thing. And the guy is awesome. He really
So
is.
Remo
And
goes on
hopefully
to-
after WrestleMania, I was thinking about this earlier today after catching up on both the shows.
Uh-huh.
I think, they've had this subtext of, they always have this with one of these, ham and eggers. They always have them trying to work their way into WrestleMania, right? And right now it's Baron Corbin. He's trying to find his way to a WrestleMania match, right? Why not book LA Knight against the guy I just said? God, I lost my thought there. Yeah, Baron Corbin. Put those two against each other and let friggin' LA Knight win. Damn it, because nobody likes Baron Corbin anymore.
Yeah, so I could see that, and we'll get into that in a little bit with the backstage stuff with LA Knight.
Yeah.
But it was a great match. Cody wins with the Crossroads.
Yep.
And it was.
And then he cut a little promo afterwards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he did. I tell you what. When he did the Cody cutter, even because my girl was watching that with me, it looked like he hurt. It looked like it hurts him more, like the way he lands on his ass. It's like, God, it had to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then you already brought it up, but the way LA Knight just leapt like a cat to the top and did that superplex.
He's good, dude. God, he can go, and Cody knew that going into this. He knew he wasn't dealing with some wannabe that doesn't know what they're doing. He knew that, and he went with it. Everything he was doing, it looked great. Yeah, it was awesome.
So after
probably
that,
the best show, if you ask me.
Yeah, and it was too short. So since we bounced around anyway, so after the next match, I believe they show LA Knight in the back, and he's walking, and like one of the insert generic chick interviewer,
right?
Backstage,
whoever the interviewer,
whoever it was. She goes to try to talk to him, but then he sees Rey Mysterio. He's like, "Oh, hey, Rey, signing autographs. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. How about, since you don't want to take on your son, I joined the Deadbeat Dad Club with you, and I take him on for you."
Right.
And that pisses off Rey because he still loves his son. Mm-hmm. And so he decks him, and that sets up a match they announced. It's going to be Rey versus LA Knight, and he's going to lose again because
yes, he is. Because you got to build Rey up before he fights his son at WrestleMania, which still is not on a lock yet.
Because it's going down exactly the way I said it's going to go down, and we'll get to that in a second when we get to that section. Yep. Bronson Reed just beat the piss out of Elias really quick. It was kind of a waste. Austin Theory needs to shave, first of all, because his beard is terrible.
Yes,
and this is coming from someone who knows what a good beard is. I used to have like a ZZ Top beard, and as you can tell, I shaved this morning. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I shaved 2 days ago, and it's already back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and for those of you listening on the radio, I have like a 5 o'clock shadow easily, and it's only 12:30 where I'm at. Oh, I do want to say, I did want to say that back when we were talking about LA Knight, Remo says the cool thing is he stays over no matter how many times they job him out. And I think that's a good point, but I just hope they don't take that for granted because, obviously he's not going to beat Rey next week.
No.
But back to what I was saying. So Austin Theory, who really does need to shave, he actually had a good showing. Kid is impressing me. He's slowly winning me over. I'm very much looking forward to his match with John Cena, a match
he's a good wrestler.
I called,
he is.
by the way, in like one of our first episodes. You guys can go back and see it. I called that was going to happen.
What, the Cena match?
Yeah, long before they even started planting seeds, just because I could tell, you know what I mean? Because like I loved it. Cena even said, you're basically in the ruthless aggression era right now. Like you're like ruthless aggression me. So I thought that was funny.
It's that time of year when Cena comes back to put somebody over.
Yeah,
and it's him this time. Yeah.
So Austin Theory makes easy work of Angelo Dawkins and beats him clean. What'd you think of the match? I mean, I know you're not.
It was good. It was good. I think I want to see him and Ford. That would be cool.
Yeah, well, I believe they booked that. That's happening tomorrow. Yeah, so it is. I thought it was funny when he goes when Ford he calls him. He said, "You Clarence from 8 Mile looking ass."
Right. There's from 8 Mile.
Which I thought was funny.
Yeah, it
And
was
then,
good.
so then we get Seth and Baron, and of course, you got to have Seth win. But that whole thing was set up backstage by the Miz because he's like, hey, maybe you can go, if you beat him, you can have the WrestleMania spot, and like blah blah blah, whatever. Poor
It's so heartbreaking
Baron.
for me.
Yeah,
it is.
And then
so much promise when he first started.
Yeah. And then, as much as I like Bianca Belair, I know you don't care for her. What the hell are they doing?
And look, don't misconstrue this. It's the hair thing that drives me nuts. This little ponytail, whatever the hell it is. The girl's a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong. And I'm over her. I just am. I'm not saying she's not talented. She's a really good wrestler.
No. My thing is,
don't like the character.
I don't like what they're doing with her right now.
This whole thing, both the women's belts. Who cares? I mean,
well, I'll disagree with you.
One of them is legit going to be Rhea Ripley ascending. I would think.
Yeah.
The other one, Asuka's not going to win that match.
And no, there's no way. And I'm not intrigued at all by like babyface versus babyface. I feel like, Asuka made this, she changed her gimmick up. She's going back to doing the mist. She's acting kind of crazy, but like they're not committing. She's not a heel. I mean, they should have just did a heel turn.
Mm-hmm.
But like, here's a great point. Remo says Bianca could try selling the match a little. Amen. Like, I don't care about the match. And now she's like,
if she lacks somewhere, it's her ability to sell on the mic.
And
she's not really that great at that.
They're not building this match at all. You know what they're doing? They're wasting Bianca's time with those two Karens called Chelsea Green and the Princess of Staten Island, Carmella. It's a waste. I don't. So anyway, and we already talked about
the girlfriends of wrestlers, right?
Yeah. And we already talked about the main event because that was Bloodline stuff. So that's Raw. Is there anything else you want to go over on Raw?
Well, the one thing that we did miss, and it has to do with the women's division. Trish Stratus got blasted by Damage Control backstage, and
that's right.
And but I don't even think they were in the building. I think all of that was pre-taped. They just put it on the widescreens and on TV for us. I don't even think those chicks were in the building because none of them came out to the ring. It was all backstage, and it was just more building. Damage Control and Lita and Becky and Trish Stratus at WrestleMania thing.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering if they're going to take no, they're not going to take the belts off those girls because of the thing we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and I just don't. Anyway, let me get my notes here. I'm not.
Go ahead and do your promo for the shop.
Oh, yes.
Don't forget about that before we get out of here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. You're right. So, hey, I'm going to put the link in the chat.
Then we'll do SmackDown.
All right. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you guys. Holy moly, that's a heck of a link. Not that. Let me try a little shorter here. All right. I still need to get a vanity link, but there it is. The link is in the chat. It is right there. www-shop.sjv.io/Dork Side. You can go there to help support the show. Anything you purchase through this link, WWE Shop gives us a nice little kickback. And if you guys give me a shout out on Twitter, they give me, I hate how they do this. I wish I could make my own promo codes, but they give me promo codes on the daily. So if you hit me up on Twitter, I'll share out some promo codes for you guys. And he says,
"Yeah, go ahead." To my favorites, so that I can, whenever I decide to buy a new shirt for WrestleMania, which I will definitely be doing, I'll do it through them.
Oh, look at this! So Remo says, "Yeah, go ahead and do that. I'm gonna use it to buy an Asuka figure." So
there you go.
Yeah, right on. So I'll while we're talking about SmackDown, I'll dig up the promo code and let you know how the most recent one, and let you know how long it's good for. In fact, actually, here we go. I just found one right now.
There it is.
WWE Ship 30. I'll put this in the chat. You get free shipping if you spend $30 or more before tax.
There you go.
And that's for our friends over in the UK, and for our friends here in the States, if you use promo code Stone Cold, also in the chat.
Stone Cold.
Yeah, Stone Cold. You get it's really weird. You get 31.6% off anything on the site. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Cool.
yeah. And that was in celebration of
That's just today, right?
No. This will end. So this one is good for another through what day was that? Through Thursday.
Thursday?
So,
okay.
Yeah. So
Cool. I'll make sure I get my shirt by then. Cool.
Yeah. So check that out.
Not sure which one I'm going to get. Probably going to be ahead of the table. Sure.
I'm pretty sure most of the people watching us right now, I know we do get some people from overseas that watch. So overseas folks use WWE Ship 30 for free shipping on orders of $30 or more before tax. And for everyone here in the States, promo code Stone Cold, all one word, to get 31.6% off site wide. All right.
There you go.
Back
now,
to,
SmackDown started with the Bloodline storyline.
Yeah, which we already talked about.
It was Cody, and we already covered all that.
Yeah.
So I just have to make a comment. We'll start with this.
Okay.
I don't know what was up with Charlotte's pajama / onesie she was wearing, but yeah, she doesn't need to wear anything like that ever again, especially when she's trying to make everything look like flesh and she wears black underwear underneath it. It's kind of strange. Kind of weird. Me,
there was that blue onesie she wore, and the first thing I said when I saw her when she was doing the backstage segment was oh wow, is she testing out a new Saudi Arabia outfit? Because that's what it looked
what is
like.
Going on here?
Which I do not understand. This is something that bothers me. They should do King of the Ring as its own event. And that can make sense in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But to have the Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia, I think they should. I don't like that.
That's not a.
Yeah, I think they should have done a separate Queen of the Ring pay-per-view. They've only had one all-women's pay-per-view,
I think they need to do another one. They got enough chicks to do it.
What would be better than Queen of the Ring? You have the Queen of the Ring tournament. You can have your 2 title matches on there and your women's tag title match. Boom. It's easy. It's easy. Put a spotlight on the women. But, apparently the evolution, or what was it called? Women's Evolution?
Evolution was the name of the pay-per-view. Was Evolution, just straight up Evolution.
Yeah, they yeah.
And it was a great pay-per-view.
I liked it, and I liked it a lot, but apparently it had didn't have good viewership, but I don't know, man. But speaking of of women, the very first match on the show after the Bloodline stuff was the mixed tag match between Judgment Day and Zelina Vega and
Zelina Vega.
I'm actually
Malachi Black's one of the luckiest dudes on the planet, isn't he?
No shit, Lord. Right? Oh my gosh. But anyway, I had to behave. I really like the fact that they turned Phantasmo, whatever it's called, Vega and Santos Escobar face. I like that.
Yeah.
Because the numbers match against Judgment Day. It makes sense. I love how I actually really enjoyed this match a lot more than I thought I would.
Hell yeah, they put if anything, they put Zelina Vega over as a wrestler.
Even though she lost.
She was whomping ass. It was awesome.
Kicking ass, doing her Karanas, jumping off the top rope. She even beat the shit out of Dominic.
Yes, she did. It was great.
That's what cost her the match, though. She beats the shit out of Dominic, tosses him out the ring, turns around right into the riptide.
Yeah,
and it was all academic from there, man. It was just like it's Mr. Perfect. Oh, I just did the Mr. Perfect pencil flip.
Yes, you did.
Or as Bobby Heenan used to say. Yeah. So it was a good match. I enjoyed it for what it was, but we all knew Rhea had to win. She's got to build that momentum going into WrestleMania.
Of course. But I just like the fact that they really, in the loss, they put Zelina Vega over.
They really did. And she deserves better. And I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but her and oh God, what's his name? Creed. What's his name? His real name's Creed. Austin Creed or whatever, fucking New Day.
Apollo Creed?
No,
No.
the New Day
No.
guy. Gosh, shit.
Oh shit. Xavier Woods.
Thank you, King Xavier. So Xavier Woods. See, kids don't do drugs.
It's not good for you.
So Xavier.
Just say
Woods,
up, down, down. I'll know who you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Xavier Woods is the most recent King of the Ring, and Selena Vega is the most recent and only Queen of the Ring, and neither of them were included in the promo for the King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia.
No, they weren't.
And they both went to Twitter. So Selena Vega tweeted, "Wow, you think they would have me and Xavier Woods on, in the promo since we're the reigning King and Queen of the Ring." You would
think.
And then Xavier replied to it with, "Here you go, I fixed it." And he cut a version where the only match was the two of them instead of all the other people.
How
So
great,
I thought that was
man.
funny.
Xavier's something else, man.
But the best part, I hate to say, I mean, the match was really good, but what really got me stoked was what happened after the match. So Dom gets on the mic and he calls out, and he starts talking trash about his dad. Doesn't think his dad's going to come out. And then they show him up on the big screen walking, and then we cut to commercial. By the time we get back from commercial,
he's out there.
And he asks Dominic's mommy to give them a little bit of one-on-one talk time, which I thought was funny because all she did was walk out of the camera frame. She goes into the corner. She doesn't leave the ring. She just walks over to the corner, and they talk. And Ray's teasing a little bit that he might actually fight him, which I thought was funny. He's like, because it's like, he just I can't even put into words. Go watch this promo. This is actually
the promo. It was great.
And
I
really
hate to cut you off, man, but we got about 3 minutes before we got to do a hard out. Yeah.
All right. Well then, all I want to say
go watch that promo.
Watch that promo. He teased it. And
there's a reason why he's going in the Hall of Fame. And he's going to end up beating his son's ass.
Here's my prediction right now. I said it last week and I'll say it again. He's going to jump him at the Hall of Fame. He's going to beat the shit out of him, or he's going to beat the shit out of Conan. And that's going to finally make Ray snap. He's going to ruin the Hall of Fame induction, which it may not even happen, right? You might not actually get inducted, or however they want to play it. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go that far.
But you think there's going to be an attack at the Hall of Fame?
I think it's going to be a last-minute addition to WrestleMania, as far as an official edition, because I think it's going to be finally booked. I think he's going to finally say, you know what? That's it. I'm going to teach you a lesson, you punk kid. Yeah. So anyways, that's what I think is going to happen. So to hurry up.
The one thing that entered my mind, because I remember when Dominic was first brought on the scene, they had the entire Mysterio family and there was a daughter there. Now I could see something go on in the next couple of weeks, building up to it where the daughter gets messed up somehow. And that could push him into beating his son's ass.
Now, I think because Conan actually helped in real life. Conan helped raise. He's a godfather to Dominic, and he helped raise him and stuff like that. And I think Conan would be over the moon to help put Dom over and help build that the drama for that match and be an integral part of why Ray finally says, you know what, you punk ass kid. I'm gonna give it to you at WrestleMania. So in these last 2 minutes, we had Woods, poor LA Knight.
Yeah, well, they've got him losing, which, I hope that they turn that around either at WrestleMania or after.
Okay.
But they definitely can't keep jobbing this guy out.
They really can't, but apparently
talented.
He is.
You're messing up WWE if you continue to do this.
Yeah, but they're going to job him out to Ray. So, but hey, at least he's getting TV time.
This could be a reverse build. We've seen him do it before.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going on here. We already talked about the Intercontinental match. We already talked about all the Bloodline stuff. The only thing we haven't covered, and we got about 60 seconds, is Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair comes out. She's starting to cut a promo. Rhea Ripley comes out. They come into blows and they get separated and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
I don't
they have
think
a
this.
brawl.
Look, I know that they did not have a women's match headline last year, either night. and that's why they're saying we have to have it. No, the story has to warrant the main event, and it just doesn't.
I don't think it does either.
Yeah.
Neither one of the women's belts are being put up as majors this time. They really aren't.
They really
haven't
not.
done a good enough push for them.
They haven't, but I am happy with what they're doing with the tag division, which we didn't get into. So stick around next week.
Next week we'll talk about it more. It just got introduced during SmackDown. So, and we saw a couple of female tag teams that have never wrestled with each other before, and we're going to see a lot more of that.
Yeah, it was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez go on to the tournament, which we'll talk about next week. And until
you guys
then,
come see us.
I've been
Danny. Was good to see you.
Yes, likewise. So I'm the Dork Knight at Dork Knight LV on Twitter. My co-host here, Joe, is JoesAtmosfere with an F instead of a PH on all the socials. Give us a like, follow, share, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next week.